Welcome back to the Anchor Show, guys. My name is Andrew, your mental health therapist, and today I'm going to be talking about depression, right? We've heard the term depression just get thrown around very regularly, very often, and a lot of people claim that they're depressed, and it's something that is used very commonly. Now, some people think that depression is just weakness. It's weak sauce. Oh, you're depressed, you're weak. Go find a job, go find a hobby, go whatever, right? But again, I'm that myth buster, right? So depression is actually a mental illness. So I'm going to read the actual definition of what depression is and then go from there, right? So it says, depression in simple terms is a serious mood disorder that causes persistent feelings of sadness and loss of interest in activities. It's more than just feeling down. It's a condition that significantly interferes with daily life and functioning. Depression can manifest with various symptoms like fatigue, changes in sleep or appetite, and difficulty concentrating. While there's no cure, effective treatment like therapy, and medication can help manage symptoms and promote recovery. So that's the definition, right? I'm not making this stuff up. That's what the depression is. That's how depression is defined. So, what causes depression, right? Now that we kind of know what it is, it's basically a mood disorder, right? And it manifests itself in different ways. But what causes it, and who are likely to be depressed? Well, anybody can be depressed. Literally any person can be depressed. That's the thing about mental illnesses, to include depression and any other mental illnesses. It's not about who you are. These things don't care about your social economic status. It doesn't care about how much money you make. It doesn't care about how many cars you got in your driveway. Nah. You could be a six-figure earner. You could have a GLE in your driveway or a G-Wagon, whatever. You could have the finest, most prettiest girl. You could take vacations like it's Uber. None of that matters, man. None of that matters, right? This is a serious mental illness that, again, is another epidemic across the entire country, but also that impact men on a really serious level, right? And if you watch my previous video, why men don't open up, right? This is one of the things that can become a byproduct of why we don't open up, because when you're dealing with some sort of emotional or mental issue or challenge and you can't talk about it to get it out your system or to work through the problem, eventually that's going to lead to things like depression, anxiety, and other mental challenges. So what causes depression? Well, the list is long, right? Anything can cause depression. Anything at all. Now, sticking to men and the most common factors that play a part in why men get depressed, right? I'm gonna try to keep my focus there. And one of the biggest thing is finances, right? For most men who are, let's put it this way, men who are providers. You have some guys who they pride themselves on being a provider. Like, this is what I do. They live for being a provider. They love taking care of their family. If you're a provider, if you're one of those type of guys who care so much about making sure that you're meeting all the needs of your family, right? And you're living in this day and age, 2025, you are probably struggling to do that. That's facts. You are probably struggling to keep up with taking care of your household. A lot of women are not emotionally intelligent and aware of the external factors and circumstances that's going on and how it impacts their partners, their husbands, right? And therefore, what end up happening, instead of being understanding, instead of trying to find a solution, they nag, they judge, they criticize, they mistreat, they cheat, and the list goes on. And so here you are now, this guy trying to do his best, right? Got 2 jobs in some cases, but you just can't seem to make ends meet. And a nagging wife who just can't be satisfied. And it's not to say that she doesn't have any right to nag, but she shouldn't be nagging you per se. She should, if you're a trying guy who's really out there doing your thing, working hard and trying to provide for your family, you should be getting that support and understanding. But if we're gonna be real, that doesn't often happen. It's criticism and shade and whatever, right? So finances. So that lack of financial security and true financial freedom, that leads to depression. Sometimes it's lost, right? Could be a friend, loved one, family member. It could even be a job. It could even be you had this really good paying job. You're doing well and you lost that job due to all the nonsense that's going on in our economy. And so now you're deep in depression. Sometimes it's an injury. Sometimes it's illnesses. So it's so many different reasons why someone can fall into depression. Now, what does depression look like? How does it manifest itself, right? We understand what it is. We understand who it affects. We understand what causes it, right? The list is long. But how does it manifest itself? Well, your typical common signs of depression is usually it could be from sleep disorder. So whether you're not sleeping a lot or you're sleeping too much. A lot of times it's the sleeping too much, right? Some people will go hours and hours and hours just sleeping, right? Lack of interest. So you have a friend who loves to play basketball every single day. This dude is playing pickup basketball and all of a sudden he's no longer interested. Well, there's a good chance he might be depressed, right? Eating disorder. So maybe you eat normal, 3 meals a day, just typical. Now all of a sudden you're only eating 1 meal a day, right? Or sometimes it goes the other way around. You used to eat 3 meals per day. Now you're eating 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 because eating makes you feel good. And you're chasing that feeling of feeling good, right? Hygiene. A lot of times too, it impacts one's hygiene standards, right? If you're a guy who likes to take your shower and put on your cologne and fresh clothes and all, that's not happening anymore. You go in days and weeks without showering and you stink. And you're not grooming your face. You're not any kind of grooming. Hair looks wild, your face looks wild, right? So these are some of the typical signs that someone could be dealing with depression. A lot of times too, you can tell based on how they talk. They become a negative Nancy, a Debbie Downer, right? They're just not fun to be around. That's because they're struggling, right? And that struggle very well could be depression. Now, we've identified what it is, what it looks like, who it affects, how it manifests itself. Let's talk about the good part. How can we get over it? How can we get through it? Because if you want to look at mental illnesses like a storm, right? There's no storm that lasts forever, right? It comes, it has a phase of intensity, it has a low phase, a phase of intensity, and then it dies down, right? So if you look at it as a storm, right? How do you get through the storm? How do you survive the storm and get out on the other side? Well, many ways you can go about doing that. One, I would say the first thing is try to understand why you're depressed, right? Why? Have these conversations with yourself. If you can't talk to others, talk to yourself. Why am I depressed? Why do I feel this way? Why am I so sad? Right? If you're not capable of doing that, then your next bet is therapy. Go find a therapist. And I say that loosely, and I know that but I do know that it's not that easy, because when someone is really truly depressed, like a major depressive disorder, there's no logical thinking. Oh, I'm so depressed, I need to go see a therapist. Nah, usually that's not happening. You're just down in your darkness, and you're just thriving in there. Even if subconsciously you know that, this is not a good place for me. I should get out. It's everything is falling apart. It's not that easy. So the next best thing is, if you have people around you that care and they're trying to help you, then allow yourself to be helped, right? If you can't find the strength to do it on your own, allow yourself to be helped. Receive that, open up and receive that help. But therapy for sure can get you to get through that storm and get over it, right? Now, as a therapist, I'm going to tell you straight up that therapy does not cure anything. I said it. Therapy does not cure anything. It doesn't. What does therapy do? It helps you to identify the emotion that you're dealing with. It helps you to identify the cause of those emotions if you didn't already know. And it helps you with processing those emotions. Oftentimes it's presenting a different perspective than the one that you have, right? Oftentimes it's strengthening those thoughts that you already have, those positive, good thoughts that you already have, validating the things that, the good things that you're saying and doing, right? Helping you just process what's going on and sort of guiding you to making better, healthier decisions that's going to eventually help you to overcome that situation. It's not curing. And the other thing about therapy that you all must understand is that so imagine a therapist as being a farmer. And imagine the client as the horse. The farmer can take the horse to the spring. He cannot force that horse to drink. And so with therapy, a therapist can guide you through your struggles and help you, to identify and, help you to work through it and process it. But that decision is solely on you to actually receive what's being taught and actually take the necessary steps in action. Because some of the things that is usually recommended when someone is dealing with depression as part of that therapeutic process is get back into doing things that you enjoy, right? You want to incrementally bring back joy into your life. So say this dude loves basketball. He used to play every single day. Now he completely stopped playing, right? Start by doing maybe once per week. Go back out there. Get back some of that joy that you lost. Maybe start a new hobby. Pick up something new, right? You could start by, maybe if you don't really want to go and be around people just yet, play your basketball video game, 2K or whatever version there is now. Go play that on your video game, right? But you have to start taking steps to get that joy back into your life, right? And medication is also recommended, but me personally, I think holistically, for me, medication is like last resort, right? That should never be your first, unless the person is like severe. Medication is last resort. You want to start with you want to start with therapy. You want to start with activities, mindset reprogramming, etc., before you get to medication if you need to. But it's there as an option. Right? And so again, let's normalize seeking help for for any sort of mental illness that one's dealing with. And by the way, let me just say this: quit claiming mental illnesses. By the way, what I mean by that is, you hear people say, "Oh, my depression is taking a toll on me, or my anxiety is so bad. My depression, my anxiety? No. Let's not claim that. It's not yours to claim. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. It's not yours to claim. So no, not my nothing. No. You're claiming that. You're using your words, your powerful words, to claim this illness. We're not doing that, right? So what we are doing, we're normalizing seeking help, right? If you feel as though you're depressed and you're struggling, let's normalize seeking help. And if you can't find the inner strength to do it on your own, let's normalize opening up and receiving help. All right? Because you can get over it. You can get through it. It just takes you making that decision and you being willing to receive the help that you're getting and put it to practice. And you can get through and over your depression. All right? So that's it for today, guys. Once again, please like this video if you find this to be beneficial in any capacity. You're welcome to share it with somebody you think that could benefit from it. And most importantly, please subscribe to the channel. I am looking to grow this community, and so your support means the world to me. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, turn on the notification bell, like the video, all that. I greatly appreciate it. Until the next video, guys, let's continue to grow, evolve, and transform into the best version of ourselves. Peace.